Theo has a podcast with Jordan Peterson, over 2 hours long, and this 3-minute clip is the most viral, most replayed part of the entire podcast. And I hope you enjoy this. My name is Aaron. I do Christian commentary on culture, and they are laughing hysterically about the use of AI with the Bible, actually. And so let's get right into this video. I know you're going to enjoy it, and then we're going to talk about it right afterwards.
How fascinating would it be, though, say if we were able to create things like that where you could go back in time, say like just going back to like your real basic practices of like psychiatry and stuff like that, where if somebody had like trauma from family, they could go back and talk to their father or mother.
Yeah.
Do you think that
we're
that
not
will
very well, I think in some ways we're not very far from that already. You know, we've been toying with the resurrection of ancient thinkers. So you can take an AI system, for example, and you can train it on everything Nietzsche wrote.
Oh, yeah.
Or
If
everything
Aristotle's
Dostoevsky.
performing down at the American Legion, I'll go down there and watch
Yeah,
him,
well, you know, and then you can add to that computer-generated photorealistic avatar, and you can synthesize the voice if you have any voice recording, and then you're going to have the animated spirit of that person. And these AI language systems are so sophisticated that they really do pick up the essential elements of someone's thought, especially if they have a large corpus of words to work with. And I have a student, former student, he's a colleague of mine now, who's worked with large language models for years, and we've started experimenting with these sorts of things, you know, producing a virtual Nietzsche. We have a virtual King James Bible, and so you can ask the Bible any question. Yeah, I know, it's very strange. It's like, I don't even know what to think about that, because the AI system, the large language model, does capture the spirit of a text. And there's a lot of biblical text. And now if you have a system that speaks, what voice is a system that speaks in the voice of the Bible? What the hell voice is that?
Hey, boys.
It's, yeah, well,
No, I don't know if that would be it.
yeah, well,
That sounds almost like a pervy dude kind of, hey, boys, welcome to the Bible. No, I'm trying to think of who it would be. Oh, maybe Morgan Freeman, you know?
right.
Welcome to the Bible.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of a good person.
Morgan Freeman would be good.
Yeah, people would rely. You'd have a good Bible. I think they'd let you do a couple chapters, at least an apostle.
Yeah,
I think they'd let
I
you
could
in.
be a crazy Old Testament prophet.
Okay, yeah, there we go.
I think that'd be it.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Dude, I always wish Carnival Cruise Lines would do like a Noah's Ark cruise. Wouldn't that be crazy with all the animals on there? You know?
You have to propose that to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It might be not a bad idea, just
Yeah.
some niche marketing, you know?
Yeah, could be.
So they're basically talking about using AI technology to embody or imitate like Bible characters or these dead, you know, thinkers. And you need a large, what he said, corpus of words or a body of work so that it could learn who they're trying to emulate. I mean, like you could be like Donald Trump, right? Like, have you ever done an impersonation like wrong or tremendous? You know, I do a terrible Donald Trump, but you do an impersonation when you know a lot about the character. And so they raise a good point. What would it be like if AI takes over and tries to embody the spirit of the text? Now, there's a lot of different ways we could think about this, right? Because I don't know if you knew this, but the Bible, you could actually think of it as like a little mini library. There's a whole bunch of books in the Bible with a whole bunch of different authors. And so you'd have to think, okay, who has the most words that we could learn from that this AI can learn from that could be the most accurate, right? You don't want to be someone weird, like, you know, just a few things that they wrote about, like Jude or some nonsense, right? Like you want the most body of work. And did you know that actually Moses is one of those people, right? You'd think Jesus initially, but it's really like he wrote the first 5 books of the Bible, right? And then like even a few other things. And so it's not really, you know, he's the author, but it's not really about him. So we're not really learning only about him, rather. Or we could take Jeremiah, right? Or Ezra or Luke. Like these are different Bible authors, and these are their words, right? Each one of these books are written by this different author. It's a little mini library here, but like, is Luke, are those really his words? Like, it's really about Jesus when you're writing about, and who cares about Ezra, right? Who cares? But like Jeremiah, right? Jeremiah is one of those, there's a lot of words that he's used, and that's in the Bible. So, you know, it could just be like this whiny old guy. But if you don't take the amount of words from the author, like I'll give, like Luke is a great example, or Moses is a great example, right? Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, these aren't really about him, right? There's a whole bunch of numbers or a whole bunch of words. But then what if you'd want to talk to someone who you'd really want to talk, one of the famous people like Jesus, right? Jesus doesn't have near as many words that in the Bible as a Moses compared to like authorship, but he does have some words where an AI could essentially grab the spirit of all he's talking about and then emulate him. And then you could ask him these questions. You could ask him all kinds of questions, like, Jesus, like, what's the meaning of my life? What should I do with my life? And then the AI would take those words and try to emulate as best as it can to then spit out that language. Or if you really want to get technical and spiritual with it, the whole Bible, I know I said it's like a mini library of a bunch of separate books and a bunch of different authors, but Christians believe that it's really truly one author, one cohesive author, and that author is God. And that's where Theo is saying like, like this is the voice of God, like he was kind of making light of it, but what our brains don't even like compute that. Like, would God, who wrote the whole Bible, he wrote it through, inspiring his authors. Like, would that AI really encapsulate the Spirit? And how would I take that as a Christian? How do I receive that? Right? Because then there's not only just the actual words, but there's actually the tradition in which those words are interpreted. So is the AI language model learning from let's say a Catholic perspective, a Protestant perspective, an Eastern Orthodox perspective, a Muslim perspective, a Jewish perspective? Like, what is the tradition? So when you take a text, right, you have to take a few things into consideration, at least a few things. You have to take into consideration, okay, what's the context of this text? Literarily, what type of scripture is this? Is this poetic? Is this wisdom? Is this prose narrative? What was the time frame? Who was the person behind it? Like you have to take in a few of these things, cultural context stuff, and those different interpretations. So I'll give you an example. Like Romans 9 is a very hotly contested chapter in the Bible, and if depending on the type of tradition you're from, Paul is going to say something different based on the type of different traditions of the Christian faith you are, or even Islamic, like that you're taking it from, right? So like, was Paul Reformed? Was he Catholic? Like saying, like, we don't know these things. I think it's a fascinating conversation, and then we could even stretch that even further. Like, what would it be like? And just if you're not a Christian, and thank you so much for watching this far, but what would it be like if you talked to your grandparents? I mean, I myself am a YouTuber. I've got a whole body of work spanning multiple channels about me and my thoughts and my words and stuff like that, so that in the future, my children's children can take all my videos and put it into an AI and have me talk to you guys. That's some wild stuff, man. And who cares about my crazy words except for my family and my children? But who in history do we have enough body of work that AI could try to emulate and grab the spirit of? Hitler, why'd you do it? You know what I'm saying? Like, why'd you do this stuff, man? Why'd you do all that stuff? Who else got, Confucius, right? St. Augustine, I don't know, King Henry, any one of them, right? So it's one of those things that I think is really fascinating. Let me know down in the comment section below what you think, who you would have AI emulate so that you can talk to. Anyway, thanks for watching. Check out this video on Jordan Peterson and Vivek Ramaswamy. I think you're going to like it, especially if you're into the political sphere coming up. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later.